All eyes on Doge. Big run up. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Monday afternoon. How's everybody doing? We're holding on, right? We're in the 26s with Doge. Bitcoin is still below 116K. So it's not just Doge. And we'll be talking more about that as well. But yes, overnight we did have a big drop in the price. But there were others that got hit harder. Pepe, Fartcoin, Bonk, Whiff. So some of those memes, big pullback. So that's what we see, right? Get a pullback in Bitcoin, get a pullback in ETH, and the memes drop harder. That's what we had. So if someone comes in and says, oh, Dogecoin, it's like, it's not just Dogecoin. Just look at the market. It's a market thing. It wasn't just Dogecoin. But it will happen, right? Because that's how people are. I've done this a long time. I know what they're going to say already. I'm braced for it. I'm ready. Come on. Oh, Dogecoin can't hold any. It's coming. I know it. But why did it dump? And what's coming up from here, particularly in the next 2 days, leading up to the FOMC. So there's a poll, vote in the poll. Where do you think the price of Dogecoin is going to be right before the FOMC? And I say before because once the FOMC hits, it's going to be wild and crazy and it's going to fluctuate up and down. And then after the FOMC, I'll be live and we'll talk about the aftermath. After Tom Crown's live stream during the FOMC, which is where I'll be hanging out in the chat. So what is going on, guys? Well, Bitcoin Census says, look, the Fed set for its first rate cut of 2025, most likely 25 basis points. We've been talking about that, right? Like a 95% chance now it's 25 basis points, and it's about 5% that it'll be a 50 basis point. So 0% chance that they won't cut rates, 0% chance that they're going to raise rates. So we're pretty much expecting a rate cut. So that's the big news. Everybody's talking about it, and we've been talking about it for a while. But yes, that's the big news. And the other thing is we're going to get new dot plots on Wednesday. And this is where the scary part comes in, because if the dot plots don't show enough, let's say, forecasting in the future of enough rate cuts, people are going to get upset and the markets are going to dump. You heard it here first. This is my take on the dot plots. Again, if the dot plots don't show enough rate cuts in the future of what people want, the markets are going to dump. Even though we get the rate cut, because we want the rate cut, right? Brings liquidity into the markets. People do stuff, right? They expand their businesses. They hire more people, like all of that stuff. That's what rate cuts do. It helps curb inflation. It helps curb unemployment. It could add a little bit to inflation, but it helps curb unemployment, which is ticking up right now. So this is what the Fed can use to help battle that. So only ask your question once, dude. 1,200 Doge is a lot for some people and hardly anything for other people. So wherever you are financially, only you can decide. Anyway, the markets will either liquidity boost, right? And that's what we expect when we see a rate cut. again, coming on Wednesday, but the dot plots. We got to watch the dot plots. And what are the dot plots? The dot plots are each of the individual people on the Fed board does their prediction of where rates will be for forecasting out like a year or so. And if those dots, right, are going down enough, that can be bad. So just putting that out there, right? Just so you know the risks here of what's coming up. So what else going on? Well, Binance, Binance is an exchange, big exchange, where you can do a lot of leverage trading. You can short, you can long. And we saw over the past 24 hours, $118 million of ETH getting liquidated, mostly on the longs. And why is that? Well, it's because Binance was dumping the price. Yes, it was Binance dumping the price. They dumped the price of ETH. Bitcoin followed and Doge followed. It was ETH. And this guy is looking at the Binance hot wallets, dumping ETH. Big amounts of ETH. Dump, 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 dump. Millions of dollars worth. Bring the price down, wipe out the leverage longs. That's what it was about. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? With low volume, not a lot going on. This was a Binance move, guys, on ETH. This was a Binance move. And see those green candles going up on ETH? It wouldn't surprise me if Binance was pumping up the price to drop it. They are the ones who led this. Like I say, the exchanges and the market makers do not want the traders to win. And we were looking at the heat map yesterday on the live stream. We were looking at Doge particularly, and all those leverage longs down there. And I was like, well, they're not going to get them all, but they're going to want to get some. And this is the result. So they did it on ETH. That was the main target. This time was ETH. So thanks to Weimar for pointing this out. This was an ETH thing. So what do we typically see? We see a rate cut pattern of a dump and then a pump. Rate cuts are going to dump, and then will we see the pump? That's what we're looking to see what the next move is. If they're happy with enough flushing of leverage out based on that move, well, eventually the retail traders and the institutional traders will overcome what the market makers and the exchanges can manipulate. But this is what this was about. So there we are. Will Bitcoin get back up to 116? We will be watching that. What will Doge do? 27, 28 cents. We'll be watching that as well. Right now, it's all kind of chopping sideways, but right now, 61% of you think Dogecoin is going to be higher than the current price. Higher Wednesday at 1 o'clock, leading into the interest rate cut announcement when the volatility is really going to start. So just to put this out there, guys, and see what other people are saying. This is this guy, Ted Pillows. And he's saying, look, the Fed's going to cut rate in 2 days. JP Morgan and other big analysts are expecting a market dump before the reversal. A market dump. And maybe what we just saw was a preview of what's still to come overnight tonight, and possibly again overnight Tuesday night. He gives two scenarios. Scenario number one, Bitcoin will dump towards 104,000. 104,000. That's a big dump. From 115 all the way down to 104. His scenario two is Bitcoin will dump towards 92,000, which also has a CME gap. And you know, I've talked about this big CME gap down here. From 94 down to 92K. The CME gap that was never filled, which a lot of people say, oh, got to go fill the CME gap, right? God, that would just be, that takes more news than just a price dump before an FOMC meeting is what that is. So I don't think that's happening. But then to go all the way from 92 and then just scream back up to an all-time high, wow. Davey boy, you're okay with the 104 dump and then up to a new all-time high? That's probably more in the cards. I don't know if it's going to go that low, though. But again, we got to be ready, right? We've got to be ready. What does Ali say? Ali says, look, zoom out on Dogecoin, right? So Dogecoin now has a very strong resistance line at 29. Yeah, I'm looking on the daily, we just have wicks that have come up above. And yeah, 2 bars, most recently up above 29 that we had the end of last week, which was great. And now we have the pullback. The pullback isn't much. However, if the pullback continues, particularly like the one after the July run that came up to 28 cents, will it dump down to 20 cents? Will it come all the way down there? That is what we're going to be watching. Doge did it before. Last week of July into the first week of August. That was the dump. 28 all the way down below 20. So that is in the cards as well. So we don't know if that's going to happen. But if you look at like what Ted's talking about with Bitcoin and Bitcoin coming down, Doge would definitely come down as well. Again, this is for those who might have some dry powder sitting on the sidelines, right? Got a little cash waiting to buy. We could have another big dip coming. Ali doesn't call that. No, we looked at Ali's previous chart and he's just showing it going higher. We might have to start a reverse Ali fund, right? Trade whatever the opposite Ali is saying, because when he said to sell Doge at 23 cents, right? Yeah. Ash Crypto is like, hey, not only do we have FOMC this week, but we have the Rex Osprey Dogecoin ETF expecting to list on Thursday. And of course, behind that is like, get ready for alt season, rocket ship, let's go. Dogecoin ETF, everything's pointing towards Thursday now. So we've got the FOMC meeting Wednesday, and then we've got the Doge ETF Thursday. This is one of 4 of them. Remember, the second one is October, the third is November, the fourth is January. I've been the one who's been trying to keep everybody straight on this. Yeah, inverse Ali. Yep, exactly. Exactly, T. The inverse Ali. Right. But hey, you know, in the big picture and what we've seen, 80% of the gains are made in the last 20% of the cycle. Cycle data. Look at this. Cycle data from both 2017 and 2021 clearly backs this up. The wildest Bitcoin and ETH gains stacked up fast, and the cycles finally stretch, often within the last 6 to 8 weeks. That's about where we are now. 8 weeks from now, we're in like mid-November. 6 weeks is the end of October from here. Trading volumes and FOMO-driven rotations into ETH and alts confirm how momentum snowballs right before the top. Bitcoin rallies, that takes the lead. Dominance slips, which it already is. ETH and riskier alts often go vertical. Altcoin season in 2017 saw the altcoin market cap jump 800%. And this was after Bitcoin topped. Strong sentiment surges, parabolic price action marks these euphoric short windows. And of course, that's how Dogecoin goes too, right? Short periods of time, vertical price, and it doesn't hold it. It never holds the run. And I've shown again and again and again, all those times Dogecoin has gone vertical, it always pulls back. So we will be watching that for the next time that happens. So that's what we have right now. Look, Bitcoin, I guess, is in the green now for the past 24 hours. What else is in the green? Avalanche. Oh, Avalanche is having nice green candles here. Nice. Anything else in the green? Bitcoin dominance up a little bit, back over 58%, but still not too far off my prediction. So we will see if alts rally back up and Bitcoin dominance comes back down, or is it going to follow the Ben Cowen track, right? The Ben Cowen track, and we're going to have Bitcoin dominance go back over 60%. Interesting. Interesting. So, yeah, we're going to be watching that. Of particular interest to me and what Bitcoin dominance does. But we know what happens, right? When the markets are in red, the alts drop harder than Bitcoin. Yeah, Cowen says back to 60 and 62, but he changed that. He used to say 66. He used to say 60 back to 66, and now he's like, yeah, 60 to 62. I saw that. I saw that. Mr. Handy Dan, how are you? Recent subscriber, thank you. Crypto, do you set stops and sell on dips? No, I don't. I just ride. I am not swing trading, and I don't do any stops. That's the way I trade. I pretty much have my eyes on the charts all day, except when I'm sleeping at night. So I know what's going on. So I don't do any stops. Okay. Is Ali related to Jim Cramer? Yep, the inverse Ali. Let's see what October brings. Maybe another hype. Maybe. Nick, you were awake when the dip happened? Yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it? Gabriel, how are you? Thanks for the super chat. Thoughts on the Bitcoin top and short-term analysis, 1 to 2 months. So I made a video, which was my 2-year outlook, which showed where I thought the Bitcoin top would go. I'll talk about it because you did a nice super chat here. However, I will point you to the broader outlook here. If you go onto my channel, and you click videos and you look at the Dogecoin crypto 2-year outlook, and I show fib lines for Bitcoin, for ETH, for Bitcoin dominance, for total 2, like all of that, as well as Dogecoin in that video. So I invite you to watch that video because that shows where all those numbers come from. However, before that, and this was a year ago, on Bitcoin, because you're asking about Bitcoin. So I go to the weekly chart on Bitcoin, and then I change this to a logarithmic view, and I zoom out. So this is where all of this came from. Zoomed out all the way to the beginning of Bitcoin trading and seeing the Bitcoin halvings, which are these vertical blue lines. These are the Bitcoin halvings, 2024, 2020, 2016. Then I've got this red line, which are the tops. And the red line does a curve because of what I call the law of diminishing returns, meaning the market cap gets higher. And as the market cap of Bitcoin gets higher, it doesn't move as much percentage-wise vertically in each successive cycle. So by the law of that, what we see is the top in 2017 of $20,000, the top in 2021 of 69K, and then the top here, right there, it's about $190,000, 190. Now, I also did a fib, which you see on that video, and the fib has the 2.618 at 155. So that would be the lower end, would be 155. The 3.618 is at 209, and then the 4 is up at 242. So that's the range we'd be talking about once Bitcoin gets into price discovery again. So that's the range. But I called this out up at like right between 180 and 200. I called that well over a year ago. I did a whole video on this, showing this theory here that I have. So yeah, right around 190. And that'll be in 2 months. That's my prediction. So again, we've been looking at the dips, right? Higher lows from the FTX crash late in 2022. That was the bottom, which is where I was starting to buy heavily into crypto right then. So we have the big moves of the lower lows, and then we've got more recently the smaller moves of the lower lows here. So on the weekly chart, this is very bullish, right? Bitcoin comes up, hits a new all-time high, 124.5, right? Comes back down to this line, bounces off it, and then moves higher. It is still moving higher. This week is still barely in the green, even from last night. So in this green line that I drew coming up here, that's still in play for Bitcoin. That's still in play. So again, to do that overall analysis, you got to zoom out. I know a lot of my charts, particularly when I'm live, I'm really zoomed in because I want to see the price moving. You look at the weekly chart, you don't see the price moving during a live stream. So I typically don't go all the way out to the weekly unless there's something worth showing. So there you go. That's my Bitcoin analysis. Right now, in the short term, Bitcoin is trying to move up. We'll take it. Dogecoin trying to move up. We'll take it. So there you go, Gabriel. If we're down roughly 6% the last 2 days, I'm buying regardless. People were asking when to buy Dogecoin. And I said, look for the big red candles, right? Well, we got them. Now it was 3 o'clock in the morning, right? But for some of you who are on the other side of the earth, right, from here, and you were asking, it was the middle of the day for you. Great buying opportunity for Doge down here at 26 cents. And yet someone's still going to come ask me, when's a good time to buy Doge? I kind of am feeling a little bearish, BP, and I think Dogecoin is going to be a little lower Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I think we're going to be a little lower. I would like to be proven wrong, but especially after looking at these kinds of things, right? Like looking at Bitcoin, pulling back down. Not confident in Dogecoin just springing right back up right now. Hey, Mark, kind of figured a drop till FOMC and then pump after. Hopefully it does. Yeah, this is the time for the exchanges and the market makers to take out those longs, particularly on Dogecoin, because Dogecoin just went on a 2-week run, slow and steady gains, and there was a lot of leverage that was piled up there. So I'm not confident in the next 2 days for Doge. But after that, rate cuts, Doge ETF, let's go. Let's go. XRP? XRP back under $3. So all of that move all the way up to 316, all back under $3. Yeah. So that's where that sits. Algorand is moving to the US. Really? I think there was a lot of guessing about that so they could be a US-based cryptocurrency, and that might help. That might help their price. Shoo. Maybe a little recovery overnight, then an FOMC sell-off. Yeah, I'm thinking the opposite, T. I'm thinking still weakness overnight into the FOMC, and then it goes up. No swinging for the Paxinator. Yep. My swinging days are done right now. Now, I'll probably start swing trading again in a year or two. Right now, I'm not swing trading right before a big bull run, particularly if indeed, this final 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to have this, 80% of the gains made in the last 20% of the cycle. I'm not going to miss that. And I don't want to be in the middle of a swing trade and be out of my coins when the thing takes off. So I'm not swing trading. Not swing trading. So wow, maybe Thursday, Friday, if we get a good bump off the ETF news, I'm not expecting 30 cents on Wednesday. Sure, T. See what's going on in heat map land. Now, you know that I posted it this morning, right? You saw that, right? It hasn't changed much from this. This was the Dogecoin heat map that I did post this morning and showed all that leverage getting wiped out all the way down to 26 cents. It hasn't changed from this, but we'll look at it live too. Heat map. Yeah, Bitcoin just took out a little bit and then it's been going sideways. The real move was ETH and Doge on the heat maps. Not so much about this wasn't about Bitcoin. If it was about Bitcoin, Bitcoin would be down in the 113s, would have taken all of this out, and it didn't. So this was about ETH and having a big drop on ETH. I've got to zoom out to the 3-day, and you'll see what that took out. Like lots of leverage here, particularly at this 4,500 level there. $100 million gone, right? So this was about ETH, big, huge leverage. And then, of course, as I posted on X this morning, Doge as well. Waiting. Ah, there we go. All of this leverage on Doge. So now it'd be nice if we got up to 31 cents and we took out all those shorts, right? But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Hey, Georgie, how are you? Glad you're enjoying the streams. T, you think we're going to go down to 19 or 20? Ooh, Ali didn't call it, but that's what we did. Late July into the first week of August was that big pullback. So we'll see how much weakness there is and manipulation, of course. Protagonist, you don't have to talk about IOTA and A0. Got it, okay? The dips are the gifts. Lincoln did a swing trade. Risky, but you got it right. Do I think that a string of disappointing job market reports may have been enough to finally get the Federal Reserve to lower rates? Yes, that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. They weren't going to do it based on inflation fears from tariffs. So as soon as the bad job reports came in, I mean, they got to do it now. They don't want unemployment numbers to spike up. So this is one of the things they can do. Double top. Yeah, Ali was calling it like 29, right? And letting the wicks, the wicks up over 30. But yeah, that was a double top there. Yeah, maybe right below 25 cents. Christian. We have to be ready for that. What's up, Sunshine? Ryan, you're in Houston? Going to the Texans game? The Texans. Let's go to stupid ESPN. Come on. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Bucks against Houston. Houston's favored by 2.5 points because they're at home, but they're 0-1. Tampa Bay is 1-0. Points 45.5. CJ Stroud against Baker Mayfield. Interesting. Well, there you go. And you can, of course, bet and do all these FanDuel things and all this stuff. Cool. Have fun. Have fun at the game. I imagine you're rooting for the Texans because you call it the Texans game. Smash them and subscribe. Thanks, Sunshine, again. Reminding everybody, this is the place to hit the like. You don't get the real story anywhere else. Live on YouTube. You can go listen to the fanboys. Or you can come here and not only get the real scoop, but you can ask me questions. You actually get them answered because those other guys don't answer questions. Do they? Do they? Selling the Fed rate cut news early. Yes. This is like the manipulation before the rate cuts. Who me is into Dogecoin. Hey, Goose, how are you? Gotta love the market makers. Follow the money, right? Yeah, when you do a successful swing trade, you end up with more coins, which means when it goes back up, you're making more money. More money. I have a bunch of savings bonds that my grandma gave me for my birthdays in my youth. They've matured. You're going to turn them in tomorrow and look for a dip. You might have it. You might have it tomorrow. It's possible to maybe revisit 20. Daily RSI was up. I don't think these ETFs, the ETFs around October 18th, right? The ones this week aren't. But that grayscale one, that could get us there. For Doge, that could get us there. Texans fan, Mario? Should be a fun game. Yep, and nope, they don't answer. Oh. And BitBoy's back. You believe that? After all this time, BitBoy's back. But yeah, he doesn't answer questions from the chat. He just goes on his thing. Z-Par, it's a much bigger picture, man. It's a much bigger picture. I told everyone to not buy. Well, we're not going to listen to you, John. We're going to buy. But we're going to buy. We're going to buy because it makes sense to buy on the dips, right? You don't buy at 30, right? You wait for the big red candles to come down and then you buy on the dips. But the whole thing with Russia saying US is manipulated, it's like, no. Hey, Magic, how are you? William, been listening to you about a year now, making some money. Little money, but you're up. Bonds. I know, Neil's right. Bonds. Yawn. How many people do live streams on YouTube about bonds? Magic. Any other good crypto channels like Kriss? There are none other. This is it. This is it. Yes, thumbs up is buying Doge mining rigs. Yes, Doge mining rigs. They're going to be mining Dogecoin. That's pretty cool. And as I've said, in the longer term, Dogecoin mining is going to become more profitable than Bitcoin mining. But that's a ways out. Not a bad idea to get started now. Troidal, you had a $50 bond from 93, and it's now worth $80. 50 to 80. I know. Bonds. That's why I don't do bond live streams. Can you imagine? Oh, look at the price of bonds today. We're up 0.01%. Woohoo! When's Ramon going to come back? I know, right? Hey, Raiden came back the other day. That was nice to see. Raiden came back. And now Ramon's gone. It's like, Ramon. Like I said, I think he did a crazy swing trade and he got out too soon. But we may hit a price point where he comes back. Yeah, Jay, I made my video this morning about Elon Musk. For those who didn't see it, for those who didn't see my video this morning, does Dogecoin need Elon Musk? Another banger, another good video. Does Dogecoin need Elon Musk? That's a good one. Thank you, Turbo. Appreciate it. Bond, James Bond. Christian, yep. Taking notes, trying to learn how to not read those charts from Ali and not do what Ali says. He's right sometimes. 30-year bonds. I know, right? But hey, you know, buying bonds helps support the country. The oldest generation tends to like do that kind of thing for the good of the country. I'm buying my kids crypto, not bonds. Crypto. Here's a little Bitcoin for you. It's going to do better than bonds. Ramon went back to Mexico. Well, thank you, Zpar. Appreciate it. Elon moves on from projects, keeps going. Don't think he will return. Yeah, not full time like that. Not like he was, like tweeting about it all the time. We're not going to see that. But as I said in the video this morning, does the Tesla diner begin to accept Dogecoin as payment like Elon said it would? Does a ride in a robo-taxi? Does a ride in a Tesla robo-taxi at some point begin to accept Dogecoin as payment? It wouldn't take much to do that and be a nice little start, and that would be huge for Doge. We will wait. I know, you won't last. Can you imagine waiting 30 years for a bond to come to its maturity date? Looking like a post FOMC pump, unless we get pumping soon, right? And again, I think it's going to be opposite. I think it's going to be pump after, not before. Yeah. Ali was wrong at 23-cent Doge. The TD sequential indicator says to sell. And I immediately brought that to everyone's attention. It was like, don't follow this guy. Don't do what he says. Because then Dogecoin went to 24, and then 25, and 26, and 27, and 28, and then 30. If you'd sold at 23, you want to take risks, not selling anything until October 18th. That's what I'm doing. Change the battery. What battery? Something going on? Hey, Joe. Yep, you've been here a long time. Up 500%. You know, you're not going to get that kind of return with bonds. You're just not. You're not going to get that with bonds. Oh, 20 cents, you think, Tomac? Trump has guaranteed in the long run Bitcoin, Doge, and QQQ. The QQQ. Well, stocks are at another all-time high. Did you guys see Tesla today? Whew. Because Elon bought 2.5 million Tesla shares for himself. He believes in his company, so buy. Buy. So Tesla's price zoomed up over $400. We were not too long ago looking at it maybe dipping to 300. It only got down to like 320, 316 or something, but now over $400. Winning. Hey, John, how are you? Kev thinks we're going up on Wednesday. Yeah, me too. I think so too, John. I'm with Kev on that one. You don't think Elon's forgotten about Doge? We'll see. Khan thinks Doge passed 30 cents by Thursday. Then all asset classes start correcting from there. I'm not that confident we're going to see 30-cent Doge again by Thursday. I'm not that confident. Higher, yes. But maybe not back up to 30. And if Elon just said Doge, right, at this point, well, he'd have to say Dogecoin, so we know he's not talking about the Department of Government Efficiency, but the real Dogecoin. $24 maybe. October is too close. I know. Who's selling, right? Now, we got some swing traders, yes. But no one's selling that much Doge before October, exactly. I'd never bet against Elon. He's the richest man in the world. So, do I have any long-term predictions for Doge? CJ, I do. You have to, after the live stream, go to my YouTube channel here, at KrissPax. Click on videos and go look at the 2-year outlook right here. Dogecoin Crypto 2-year outlook. Check that out right there. Okay, CJ? Check out that video. That's a good one. Yeah, how many bonds did Elon buy today? Nope. Tesla shares. He was buying Tesla shares. Hey, Kronos, what's up? Megal is taking a long time to come down, still over 160. So, again, a stock you got to be patient with. And I'm being very patient. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait. I don't think that's going to cause the euphoria phase, Matt. There's going to be so many other things going on, but that will be huge for Dogecoin. Where's the squirrel today? Yeah, that was just yesterday. I don't think that guy's coming back. He was getting a lot of shit yesterday. He was kind of being a jerk. Charlotte's in the house. Hello, hello. What will WIF do? What will WIF do? You know, if Dogecoin hits a top and starts pulling back, all the memes are going to pull back too. You don't take your Doge, your big Doge gains and rotate it into another meme coin. That's risky. That's risky. Just a thought. Diamond boy. I got diamond hands on some things. I got out of pump a little too soon, but that happens. I wasn't expecting pump to just keep having that much support, but it does. I'm having an awesome day. Hope you are too. Charlotte, were you online looking at hotels in Boston? Were you really looking at hotels? Awesome. Boston's a great little city. Love it here. Love it. Love it. Hey, Stephen, the store I'm working at is closing down at the end of the month. Luckily, they're moving me to another store, but I still don't feel job safety at this point. Sorry to hear that. Yep. The economy is not great. The overall economy is not great. Particularly retail stores. There's so much online buying and it just continues more and more. Tough competition out there. Hang in there. Hope you're all right. You missed the live stream yesterday. The squirrel. Yeah. The squirrel. We'll remember that guy. I didn't boot him, though. I did not boot the guy. He wasn't that annoying. Just enough. Hey, Quack, how are you? All-time high? That is the big question. Make or break all-time high. We'll see. That's going to take a lot to get up there, you know. Got to go through 30, 35, 42, 48. Those levels are going to be tough. Every one of them. Of course, you're looking at hotels. You're prepared? Recession very likely. Well, maybe not technically in terms of what determines a U.S. recession, but I think we're going to feel it. The mental struggles selling my Doge and other cryptos to buy the house, there were no mental struggles. I was actually worried that the price was dropping too fast because of the Trump tariffs and that I wouldn't be left with enough to buy the house that I'd already agreed to buy. That was the mental struggle. It's like, I should have sold 2 weeks ago. You know, that kind of thing. That's all I was worried about, just making sure I had enough to buy the house. And I did, with enough left over for float, for the taxes. But yeah, that was what the struggle was just getting out of the crypto before it dropped further because it was going down. That's the one time when I kind of went against my own philosophy of only selling on the green candles because the markets had turned around so quickly and I only had a short period of time. That's what it was about. How many altcoins will survive a real recession? Well, they'll all keep trading. They'll just be really, really low prices. They're not going to die. There's always going to be somebody who has hope for, you know, the Doge Elon Musk, right, to make a big comeback or whatever, right? Hey, Bance, why does the meme coins always run the hardest when retail is capitulating and the economy is about to crash? I know, right? Isn't that crazy? It is crazy. But we'll see. I mean, the memes are going to run again, I believe, this fall. So the big pullbacks today on Pepe and Fartcoin and all that, just great buying opportunities for what's coming. Yeah, T, that's true. We are going to ease into quantitative easing. I mean, that's going to be the other thing the Fed is going to do. So I don't think the economy is going to crash, but there's a lot of weakness in areas of the economy, particularly retail. Of course, you know, November to December, we'll have the real nice like Christmas boost, but January, ugh, I would not want to be a retail store owner in January. Those levels up there will be tough until you get the big God candle. We know Doge has the ability to do that. Doge quietly moving up, slow. Shh, Quiet. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Oh, Matt, congrats on your son. Getting a few gold medals are nice. Awesome. The last sale before the ETF launch, Matthias, maybe. Again, this was more about ETH, as I said earlier in the stream. This was a big ETH dump that happened on Binance. And that's what caused everything else to dump. It was ETH based. They were taking out hundreds of millions of dollars of leverage. So that's what the dump was. It was ETH this time. It was ETH. Why not do a 50? Good question, Theodora. Why not do a 50? I think there's still enough fears about inflation to keep it from being a 50-point cut. So the job numbers would definitely call for it. But the fear of inflation is what's going to keep it at 25. That's what I think. The pullback was expected. Will the Pax Cat show up soon? You know, he's sleeping somewhere. I have not seen him this afternoon. Usually he shows up. Usually about an hour and a half, 2 hours in. He shows up. Hey, MB, you bought the dip today? 26-cent Doge? That is nice. Exactly, Benz. They dump ETH and they pump BNB. Absolutely. BNB is still over $900. Look at this. $900. I don't even remember. I don't even know what that line was because I was supposed to move that to 900. Didn't come back and retest it because that was the high that they had back there in August. And I was like, should have come back and retested that and didn't. BNB, crazy. I still have my magnet up here at 30. Slowly. But we've kind of had three sell-offs. We had the first profit taking, then we had that whole weakness, and then we had the ETH dump. So 3 down. Okay, let's just grind back up now. Grind back up. Hey, we're higher now than we were at 4 o'clock this morning. So we got through all of that, the whole day's trading. Ryan thinks all-time high in October. If Dogecoin generally does short bull runs, then would there be enough time to take 10% profit at a time? Well, I mean, you can take slices in like a few days, all your slices. I don't know. We'll see. My cat gets jealous of Pax Cat getting all the attention. Oh, God, if he only knew, right? Charlotte, your cat fancies Pax Cat. Oh, man. Too funny. So overall today, we do have some gainers. We have Aerodrome. Some people were asking about Aerodrome last week, and now it's taken off. Aether is up again. And we have got Pump.Fun just continuing to grind up. And I just sold it. Oh, well, I made profit. We've got Mantle up. We've got Avalanche. The biggest losers, Pepe, Fartcoin, Polygon, Floki, Bonk, Whiff. So a lot of the memes, even this SPX meme. Everyone was talking about Flare yesterday. Well, they turned around and dumped today. So, yeah. And we've got the pinger on, but there's no pinging right now. All the pinging was this morning. We did have one Bitcoin trade, though, for $9 million. A $9 million trade did get liquidated on Bybit. Oh. And again, on the heat map for Doge, lots of leverage got taken out this morning on the drop. Lots of leverage. The magnet looks far away. I know, right? It's up there. Come on. Never ever thought you'd sell AVAX to buy Doge. Did you just do that? Did you sell AVAX at 30 on the green candle? Flip it into Doge? The market manipulations. Yep. That's what we live with. If you guys weren't here earlier, I mean, that's what this was. Was Binance dumping ETH before the Fed rate cuts to liquidate the longs. Classic exchange games. And I mean, some of you guys hear me talk about these liquidations and the market makers and the exchanges, and you wonder, is that really true? And it's just like, yep, it's true. And crypto has traded like that for years. They would not allow leverage trading unless they could manipulate the market and wipe you out. And they make money. That's why they offer leverage trading. It's the same way a casino offers games for you to play, right? To take your money. It's all to take your money. Same thing. Don't be stupid. Isn't that right? It's amazing that it's legal for exchanges to manipulate assets, but it's international. Binance isn't United States based. They're not here. Bybit isn't here. OKX isn't here, right? So US regulations do nothing to it. It's worldwide. So, yeah. Oh, Charlotte. I wasn't talking about you. Although they do take your money, don't they? They have to extract as much money as possible before the rate cuts. Exactly. We're going to see a big pump after. I believe so. So, yep. Dump before and then pump. Dump before and then pump. Again, dump before and then pump. And this is how they do it. And we're just caught up in that right now. Again, for those who were asking, when is a good time to buy crypto? Well, you just had it this morning. Did you know, Charlotte, there are casinos in Boston? What? Oh, yeah, we have the Encore. The Wynn Casino Encore in Boston. And I think they have a hotel there too. Yes, they do. You can stay right there at the Encore. It's not a cheap hotel. I will tell you that. But if you play with enough money and you win enough, right, you can get comped, right? Get your room comped. Oh, I know, totally evil. Yep, Kronos. I find it messed up that they can manipulate the market like they do. Hey, Duchess, I found Annie. I told her to get better clothes and she disobeyed. Yeah. But that Elon tweet from like 2 months ago, like Annie has outfits. I'm just like, really, Elon? Don't you have something better to do than playing with some animated girl companion? And having your team like design new outfits for Annie to wear? I mean, come on. Oh. The Wynn has the best rooms in Vegas. All else is garbage. Not the Venetian, dude. The Venetian has great rooms. You can't say bad things about the Venetian. Those are great rooms. I can't believe how many times I've reassessed my profit allocation strategy. Yeah, I get that. But you're never going to sell your entire bag at the top. So as soon as you can accept that, because that's not going to happen. Because then you start doing the whole coulda, woulda, shoulda thing, right? Like, yeah, I shouldn't have waited till the end of January to sell for my profits for the house, right? I should have done it in December. I didn't know there was going to be a big crash after the stupid Trump token, and then all the tariff talk was going to start. So it did the exact opposite of what happened in 2021, where the end of January into February, Dogecoin spiked. Well, 2025, it was dumping. So, yeah. Yeah, there's pretty much no cheap hotels anywhere in Boston, Charlotte. I do know that. Oh. I think Charlotte created Annie and programmed her to be annoying to Kriss. Oh, man. Yeah, I shut her off, though. Just couldn't deal. So annoying. So annoying. You totally did. Annie will catch a death of cold if she doesn't ramp up well. Fall's here, going into winter. Still running around in underwear. Oh, but it's not underwear. It pretty much is. Oh. Haven't been in the Fontainebleau. I'm sure they are, and they're very pricey too. The Venetian's pretty nice. Yeah, Sunshine, Venetian. You played in the World Series of Poker? Did you really? That's awesome. Yeah, Venetian's great. Hello, iGhost. How are you? Adrian, you gave them 11,000 euros in Q1. Don't know who they is. The casinos, maybe? Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. What else is going on? It's just like, ugh. You survived to 780. Wow. That's cool. Yeah, tough when you don't get the cards, though. I mean, there's a lot of chance there, always. I used to watch some of that on ESPN back before I got into crypto and doing all this. I used to watch that and dream about playing poker, but not my game. Not my game. Oh, there'll be other shakeouts. You can count on it, SD. There will be other shakeouts. Hey, Tats, how are you? Teaching your client about the blockchain and Doge. All good. Love it. Love it. Do you accept Dogecoin as payment? You got to accept Dogecoin, right? Maybe give them like 10% off if they pay in Doge. The Nomad, the top 5 floors of the Park MGM, is the Nomad. That does sound cool. Stephen King just looks scary. Did you hear his new movie's out and nobody's going? They're protesting it because of what he said about Charlie Kirk. Dude, come on. Yeah. Stephen King. Whatever. Of course. Yes, you have to accept Doge. The first Dogecoin ETF is launching on Thursday. The Rex Osprey Dogecoin ETF, it's coming. It is coming. Oh, I trust capital. Just send me a message. I trust capital wants me to be an affiliate with them. I might do that. You can buy Dogecoin within a retirement account. That's pretty cool. It could drop. It could drop to 24.5 before rate cuts. We were saying earlier maybe 24.99 or 24.90, right? Just below that 25 level. Bradley, it might not hit 20. If it does that, it might not make it to 24.5 if there's indeed a drop. Might not be. We'll be watching it though. Yeah, I mean, you could buy an ETF in a 401k, but you still, when that happens though, you're going to be paying those stupid fees. In I Trust Capital, you could buy the actual crypto. And then all the gains on the crypto are tax-free in the retirement account. So that's a longer term thing. That's a longer term thing. A 2-cent drop would be a lot. The Binance ETH dump only did about a 1.5 cent. Yep. Well, I guess in the end it was 2 cents because it was over 28 cents and it went all the way down to 26 cents. So it was a 2-cent drop, Nick. 7.5%, 2-cent drop, 28 to 26. Bitcoin is not making any moves right now. Flattening out. Trillions from 401ks coming into Doge. Trillions. Well, trillions. Maybe not all Doge. Please zoom out for a sec. Sure. You want to see 3 weeks worth? There you go. There's 3 weeks. On August 20th, Doge was at 21 cents. It came up to about 23, 24 cents, dropped back down. And then we had the September 1st drop there to 20.5. And then from there, we just started slowly climbing up. Boom, 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 for 2 weeks. So that's what it looks like. 3 weeks of Doge trading. So one could say, well, it peaked right here at 24, oh, just about 24.5 right there. Bradley, is that where you got 24.5 right there? That was the top of trading on Sunday, the 24th of August, 24.5. Huh. Will it come back and hit that point? Interesting. What is the best price? What's the right time? Amar has 2 questions. Well, we've been talking about another possible dip, so just be ready. We had one last night, so be ready for another one. I don't know when it's going to happen, and I don't know how deep. Some are saying 25 cents. Some saying 24. So just be ready, okay? Be ready. Where's Pups? Yeah, he'll come in. He'll come in as pump his sheep bags like he always does. No doubt. And despite Dogecoin pulling back, guess what Sheeb did? Also pulled back. And now even lower. So, yeah. Sheeb versus Doge, still not looking good. Good luck, Amar. Good luck to all of us. I think the market is eager for alt season. Well, we've had little hints of it, but as I say, it's still September. And September has been a red month in most past years. So I predicted a green month. I predicted 24, 25 cent Doge at the end of the month. The run up to 30 was nice. I don't know if we're going to get back there in September. I don't know how much the pump is going to be after this Fed rate cut, FOMC, what the Doge ETF is going to do with Doge, like all of that. So will the market go up now? No, Cal, I don't think so. Wednesday, we might see a pump from the Fed rate cut. It's going to be Wednesday afternoon. Right. Look for the opportunities. Exactly, DB. Another chance for cheaper Doge. Could very well happen. This isn't like a V-shaped recovery here where there's a dump and then it pumps right back. No, it dumped. And then it's just kind of going sideways right now. Can I hide the red candles? Some of these guys actually manipulate the colors of their candles on their charts, so they don't use red. It doesn't look as bad. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I stick with red and green. The de-dollarization is incoming. Sell dollars, buy Dogecoins. Exactly. June 22nd. June 22nd. Yeah, June 22nd was the dump. Down to 14.2. But there were no rate cuts then. But we saw this big July pump. Yeah, this doesn't look great on the daily. These red candles. That doesn't look great. We got to break that right here. Tomorrow has to be a green day. Gotta be. What's happening in the market? It's not confusing. It is manipulation. I don't think Dogecoin is going to dump after Wednesday. I think it dumped today, and we might see another one tomorrow. Could it dump on rate cuts to trigger limit orders? Well, at that time, right around 2 o'clock, we're probably going to see a lot of volatility. From 1:30 to 2 o'clock, we always see some volatility happening. And then right at 2, psh, 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 big up and down. Got to be ready for that. Hey, Michigan, you bought the dip. It averaged your price up a little bit, but you think we're going higher. Yep. Manipulation. Throw the weak paper hands. Kick them out. But in the United States, everybody was sleeping when that happened. I woke up to this. I was like, oh, look what happened overnight. Dump. Yeah, Michigan, I don't know if it's going to dump lower again. So we've had 3 dumps on Doge. 30 to 28. 28 down to 27. Went back up to 28, dumped to 26. Maybe we climb up from here. The optimist in me says, yeah, let's just climb up from here. You got what you wanted, cleared out a bunch of leverage. Let's just go higher now. Let's go get those shorts. That's what I want to see. But yeah, right? You were awake and you didn't want to be, and there it was. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about swing trading, Niels. I think it's dangerous in this condition. Lincoln earlier was showing us his swing trade. We're telling us about his swing trade. Sold at 29, bought back at 26, successful swing trade. Asians were dumping while we were asleep. I know, right? Kind of fun to tell my friends how much Doge I have. They think I'm crazy. Yeah. The heat maps are like a poker tracker. Kind of. I mean, they tell you who's losing what. Hey, Kriss, how are you? Maybe half an hour more. I'll be on till about 6 o'clock. If we really think it's going to dump, why not sell and try to re-enter? You can never be too sure. That's why. It's the really part. I don't really think we're going to dump, but there's a chance. Everyone's short now, so the market makers can go up to liquidity. Floki is similar to Doge. Yes, dumped in the middle of the night. Healthy consolidation, some may call it, but it's more manipulation. And right when you sell, it pumps. I know, right? Well, that happened to my pump token. It just kept going up. I didn't think it had that much more in it, but it did. The Doge heat map, it's just coinglass.com. Coinglass. So you just go to coinglass.com, and then in the pull down menus here, there's a thing called liquidation. And you just click on liquidation heat map. And then when you get to the heat map, just click over to symbol. And from the pull down, you can select Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, Doge, Hype, SWI, ADA, BNB, and oh, they have ENA now. There's a bunch of them. They got a bunch. Pepe even. You can track Pepe. Pengu. You can see where all the liquidations are, or all the leverage trades are. Yep. I'm not planning on watching any football tonight. I saw the Patriots game, and this late last night caught a little bit of the Atlanta Minnesota game. I wanted to see that JJ McCarthy guy. He looked terrible. But I'm not planning on watching tonight. Exactly, Kronos. All I ask for is a like and a sub. That's it. Kilmar, yeah, the zone stock dropped below $3. I saw that. Dropped below $3. Ooh, it hit 268 on the low, coming back up a little bit after market. 268. Wonder if Boss Mac is buying more. I think he bought too much, too high. Doge loves pumping during football season. Doge is a football fan. I think I'm the reason the stock is going down. When I sell, it goes up. And when you hold, it goes down. Oh, my God. Isn't that crazy? Oh, I see a cat. He's not coming in here, though. Nope. He's just doing his thing. Yeah, just go back. Just scroll back on the timer for the heat map, okay? Just scroll back 5 minutes and rewatch. And you can even pause. Yep. Glad you're here when you're here, RR. Glad you can make it. We're just seeing if Doge is going to recover here from last night's dump. And so far, it's slowly coming up, but really, really slowly, low volume, just not doing much. AVAX was starting to run. We got a little pump on Avalanche. Not much else going on, though. Not much else. Except stupid pump.fun. And now I say it's stupid because I sold it. I sold it there on the green candle. It's not that much higher than where I sold it. So I mean, it's not that much, but I mean, the setup was there for that sale price. The setup was there. The pump did not drop like Doge and ETH and others. It stayed up here. I was surprised at that. I know, right, RR? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Oh, if I could have held on, I could have gotten up here. The setup was there on those green candles. The setup was there. I should, yeah, buy the top like I did with Bitcoin. Should have bought more. No, I'm good with it. I don't know what this thing's going to do from here. But it did not drop. It didn't come back down. I thought at least it would bounce back off this 69 line, and it didn't come anywhere near close. So someone's supporting this, buying up all these little dips. Bitcoin dropped and now is slowly coming back up. But it looks like it dropped a lot, but percentage-wise, it's not that much. When I listen to other people, I lose money. Don't listen to other people. You just hang out here. And I don't do the coulda, woulda, shouldas very often. You sold at the top of this one? Way too much stress. I know the swing trade it's tough. Yeah, pump is surviving. Where's the magnet? It's up there. Haven't moved it. Right there. Still over 30. I just moved it over. But yep, it's right there. Still 30 cents. Got to get back to 30 cents. I'm not going to move the magnet down. Oh. I just pulled some ribs from the smoker. Tea, that sounds good. My brother has a barbecue restaurant that he owns. He makes some good barbecue. Good barbecue. Nashville Tea, you had some from last cycle, 11.4. and 03. Don't listen to squirrels and bonds. Music station. Will we see gains in Dogecoin after Thursday? That's what we're thinking. I moved the magnet over to Easter Island. I just kind of pushed it along out there to tomorrow. So we'll see if we get up there tomorrow. Magnet's not working right now. Just kind of waiting. Is my brother hiring? Not right now. He's in Florida. If you want to go to Florida, but I don't think he wants to deal with immigration right now for anybody. So you'd have to become a U.S. citizen first. Yeah, I don't know if Charlotte looked at the Motel 6s, but the problem is that all the cheap hotels, they're way out of the city. And then you got to pay to come into the city. Ugh. Will the ETF be confirmed? It kind of already is. It didn't have to go through that same process, this first one. It basically was, they went through this process where they set it up to start trading, and unless the SEC objects to it, it can start trading. And there's been no objection from the SEC. You trust my magnet placement. The magnet did very well the past couple weeks. But Doge kind of did get overbought. So it'll take a little bit for this recovery and then the magnet to work again. Am I going through a midlife crisis? Not really. Just this is how I always am. I'm just much more confident now about things because my whole strategy worked out. It was a little stressful, but it all worked out. But yeah, I'm not doing crazy things like buying Ferraris and Lambos, right? No. Pump to a penny. You know, it could get there. It could get there. It's at 0085, 0084. That penny line is right. Oh, that's not it. I had it 96.5. But there's the penny line right there. It's not that far. It's really not that far at this point. How much percentage from here? 18%. With the way this thing's trading, that is not unreasonable. What's the minimum of Doge, Mohammed? Don't know how to answer that. You looking for a dip to buy in at? Is that what you're asking? I don't understand. Will Pepe be a $50 billion market cap? Let's take a look. Where is Pepe right now? There it is. 4.5 billion. So let's say it was 5. That would be a 10x from here. 10x. So not this cycle. I don't think Pepe is doing a 10x from here. I mean, that's blowing its all-time high out by like 3x. So no. But who knows in the future, right? Yeah, Pepe did dip quite a bit back in the 10s. Came back into the 10s, what I called the 10s. Is this a dip or is it drowning more? I'm kind of feeling a little bearish right now. I'm feeling a little bearish right now. Drowning, no. Pull back a little more. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, 4x max. And even that's a new all-time high. So if Pepe gets going, yeah, I could see that. But that would be a new all-time high. Bitcoin is still kind of grinding up. Dogecoin's going sideways. How about Bonk, William? Bonk? No, that's all right. I got you, William. You thought 0.00053. 53. So that's double where it was here on Saturday. So it's been up to 5.9, which is its all-time high. So 5.3 is like the top of this weekly candle. So that's a little more than double from here, but not a new all-time high. So it gets enough momentum, we could see that. Yeah, William. I work. Not going to share that detail. Doge on discount. If you have to pick one coin over 1 billion market cap that can 10x, nothing is going to 10x from here, Suarez. Nothing is going to 10x from here over $1 billion market cap. We're too late in the cycle. Right, Oren? Go back in time. Go back in time. Yeah, they won't. Nothing will 10x from here over $1 billion. You're welcome, William. MVG feeling a little bearish also. Yep, market likes to do the opposite. So every time I predict it goes down, it goes, no, that's Ali. You do the opposite of Ali. Not Kriss. Kriss is more times right than wrong. Travis, you'd go back and buy Doge under a penny? Yeah. Yeah, at this point, Subrat, you should just be looking at like 2x's from here. Double in price from here. Anything above that will be a bonus. Seriously, like a 2x. If we get enough momentum in the, again, I'm talking about just meme coins that don't have any specific things going on for it, right? Look for a 2x. Right, so what, 7 cents on Pengu and Bonk we just looked at? Between like 46 and 50 on Bonk. That's what you should be looking at. No 10x's from here. H-bar. H-bar has been struggling. H-bar had this great run, and then it just got tired. Had this big run here. Then had the secondary run early in September, but it wasn't as much as Doge. And so now Doge is at 26, H-bar is at 23. So, yeah, not great. We'll see what happens in the final bull run, though. Right, Doge got overbought. Now it's seeing where we will bounce. Starting to come back up a little higher. A little bit higher. Bitcoin still coming a little higher as well. Will Bitcoin get back to 116? Then we can get Doge over 27 cents. Zone, the only public Doge treasury. No, there's another one. There's another one. A BitOrigin. So BitOrigin is another one. So again, the stock can be totally manipulated at any time. Be careful. Don't buy the tops. Don't buy on big green candles. Definitely don't want to. So BTOG, BTOG, it's down to 41 cents. So there's room for it to run, but be careful. It's an under $1, so it's a penny stock. And Zone came down to 260. Now, just after market is back over $3. So it's like moving a lot still. Each one of your bonds from 1989, a $50 bond, is now worth $104. You don't want to own bonds. Yes. Yeah, Anthony, we're talking about Ali. Ali is the Jim Cramer of crypto. The markets are doing opposite what he shows on his charts now. You bought the top of pump, Oron? The top of pump. Hey, Orbit, what's up? What's up? Can you sell tax-free? Are you in the United States? Yes? Then no. There's no tax-free crypto sales in the United States yet. You pay capital gains on your profits. Doesn't matter what age you are. World Liberty Finance. Yeah, we know what, it's not a DeFi coin. World Liberty Finance is the stupid Trump family token. Good luck with it. You'll be like that crypto bacon guy who bought a bunch of it and now is pumping it. I'm not touching anything involved with the Trumps. But good luck. It's a LARP coin. The United States government is not going to be buying Bitcoin, Manel. They're not going to be buying Bitcoin. Michael Saylor can meet with them all he wants. They're not going to buy Bitcoin. They'll hold on to the Bitcoin that they already confiscated from the Silk Road. That's all they're going to do. No, Bitcoin isn't pumping because Michael Saylor is in Washington for a meeting. Right. They don't buy, they seize. Exactly. And they even said that. It's like they're not going to use any of their money, the taxpayer money, right, to buy crypto. So they'll seize it. BP, Mooncoin. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, just be careful out there. Be careful of what you see in your email, what you see in your text messages. Never touch or click on any links. Don't do it. Don't call a phone number if Coinbase says you have to call them for, so don't do it. These other ones that come in and say that they need you to confirm there was a change of address on your, no. Those are all scams. Don't do it. Be very, very careful. So many stories of people who got wiped out. So many stories. Do not click links. And if you're going to connect a wallet to something for an airdrop, create a new one. Just create a brand new one. Don't have anything else in it. Except whatever the minimum is, you need to accept an airdrop, whether it's Solana or something else. Don't have anything else in it. Be safe. Be safe. No, I'm not getting a Coinbase credit card. Blur. I've got my credit cards that I use, and that's all fiat stuff. Eventually, I will come back and do something crypto related, but not now at the top of or near the top and end of a bull cycle. So maybe next summer I'll start looking at it, see if 2026 is a bear, and then maybe I'll look at it, but not right now. Not the time. What's going to be the total market cap? I'm saying $8 billion. Some are predicting 10. Right now, it's just under 4, right? Total. Yeah, it's right at 4. It's right at 4. So I think it's going to be right near 8, double from here. Could Doge hit 50 cents? Sure. Sure, Dada, we could see 50-cent Doge. Be double from here, that'd be a good run. Many are predicting higher. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is if you feel like there's might be something going on, don't click the link. Just go directly into your app or into your account yourself on another device, just to be safe, and see if there's anything going on. 99.99% of the times, there's nothing going on. It's a scammer. Be careful. I do not do candle pin bowling. I've tried it. I'm not a bowler, even with big pins. I just don't do it. Yeah, I've got the XRP credit card. Yeah, I watch out for scams on a daily basis. Delete, delete, delete. Swipe, swipe. Don't even click on. Well, some of them you can just tell. It's like, yeah, it's a scam. Not even clicking on it. You got approved for 10,000. I like the idea of having a crypto credit. I mean, it makes sense when you're out at a restaurant, going to the grocery store, you're buying, right, to use a credit card. As long as you pay it off every month, take the points, the bonuses, whatever they give you, that's free. And yes, play that as much as you can. Because you're going to spend the money anyway at a restaurant or a grocery store or whatever. You're going to spend the money anyway. So you might as well get some points out of it. Or in the Coinbase, I don't know what they give you in Coinbase. They give you crypto? They give you like USDC or something? Yeah, do it. Do it. Is the ETF good to go? So far, that's what we're seeing. You had 60,000 wiped out once a couple years ago. It happens. Yeah, I'm not good on accents, Lincoln. Not my thing. And I've moved around too much. I don't have a Boston accent. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. 26.9. Almost to 27. They give up to 4% BTC cash back on certain categories. BTC only. Yeah, so you're going to be getting BTC at 115K in certain categories. So maybe they have a food category or something, right? Restaurant categories. Hey, Cat. Here for his daily visit, the Pax Cat in the house. Hey, buddy. Hi. Yes, and there's also an XRP ETF that is starting as well this week. Wow, that pump token's still going up. Peak is up today. Went back to 12 cents. Now a little bit under. Wow. Didn't notice that. I saw this AVNT was moving today, but I don't know what it is. Ricky, I don't know what it is. AVNT. Avantis. Oh, that was last night. It did the big run. It went from about 78 cents to $1.40. So almost doubled in price and then pulled back about half of that gain. That's typically what we see. That's a very typical move, that it does something like that and then pulls back half. Avantis. Don't know what it is. Love the Pax Cat. Pax Cat came to Band-Aid those in red. If I sell my Doge bag for $1.6 million, I have to pay $600,000 in tax. $600,000. Well, if that's your profit. If you profit 1.6, right? Because it'll be a percentage of the profit, not the overall bag, right? But yeah, taxes. Thank you, Gerard. Yeah, I think most people get it. Most people get what I'm about, what I'm talking about. Trying to keep things real. I mean, the guy coming in and asking what's going to go 10x from here. I just got to be real. We all love the famous. You're famous, cat. Stupid cat, you're famous. Can you imagine that? I think it's too late for that, Anthony. It's not going to get pushed till next year. Why is Avantis popping? They're perpetual trading tokens. Jupiter, Hyperliquid, Drift. Oh, they're in that category. Everyone's eyes are on Doge. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's all that leverage trading stuff, right? There is no maximum, Swarev. The maximum market cap any of these things can reach are limitless. Who knows, right? There is no maximum. Every cycle can keep going higher and higher and higher. The more money that flows in, the higher it goes. There's no maximum. More Doge content popping up. The next wave of influencers. Oh no, dear, oh no. Be careful what you watch out there. Be careful. Hey, Nye. Yeah, you're going to have to rewatch the whole thing. I am wrapping things up here. Exactly. Money is limitless. More people on earth, more things, more value, inflation, everything. Just keeps going up. Yep. All right, gang. Hey, look. Yeah, recovering slowly. Not bad. Good start. We'll see where we are tomorrow. Another live stream Tuesday. Make sure you're subscribed. Got your notifications on. Leave any comments below after this is done. If there's any other thoughts on your mind. Hope everyone has a great evening. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.